Okay, so this is gonna be the last video I'm gonna make. I'm gonna touch this topic one more time: true force loneliness, TFL, the dating scene, NWO, all connected. Always has been, always will be. I said that for a long time. Okay, people didn't want to believe me. They didn't want to listen. They didn't care. They never looked into nothing. The message fell on deaf ears, and now it's in your face. You know, a long time ago, I already knew we were going to be where we're at now. And I'm literally watching it play in my face. Okay? The only good thing I guess I can say out of this is, finally, all these years later, after Barbarossa, who was an MRA, men's rights activist, gave a name called MGTOW, men going their own way. And mainstream media got a hold of it and slaughtered it, okay? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Okay, the reality is now MGTOW is actually happening. There's a number of men that have realized what I've been saying for so long: social engineering for an agenda to destroy, to divide, to conquer. Okay, to end the family unit. That's what it was always all about. Okay? But because of social engineering and behaviors, see, I pay attention to behaviors, and not of one gender, but both. Of people in general. Okay? And I pay attention to where the behaviors come from. The majority of it is social engineering. Okay? That leads us to these behaviors. And when it comes to your opposite gender, they become so self-entitled through social engineering and believing that they're owed their life, okay? And it just, I could go on for hours with it, but it's just not worth it, okay? But what I'm going to show you is factual. It's really happening. It had to happen. You can't get human 2.0 without it happening. Okay? And you wouldn't want to have the genders back together again, even though I tried to get both genders to see how they were acting, their behaviors, and what they were doing to one another, to try to bring a stop to the division, but nobody wanted that. You were all content with your division, so that's fine. That's your choice, right? Sure is. But it's led us to where we're at. So I've put a clip together, a video together, and this is the last one I'm going to do. I'm not going to do another. As you see, I've disappeared a long time ago, and I didn't disappear. I recognize that nobody cares. I recognize the message falls on deaf ears. I recognize the time that we're in. Yeah. In 2020, I saw the time we were in. That's why I stopped the show that I was doing on Saturday nights. Okay? And that's the reason I've walked away. There's no point. I've done this for a lot of years, and there's just no point. And you see Dwayne Holloway showed up on scene. Okay, and he's got his channel, and then he left, and he came back, and that I know of, he's still here, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay, the majority are asleep. The majority don't understand the time we're in. They don't realize what's getting ready to happen. I do, and I'm not even going to go into detail because it just get this video taken down. There's just no point of it, okay? This video is the last video I'm going to do. But I'm going to show you a couple things here, and this is actually really happening. Okay, and for real it is. And for me, it's like it's about time. It's about time some men realized that the dating scene is destroyed. It's dead. It's over with. Okay, it really is. And there's just no point. I mean, you're going to get someone in your life so you can be abused. Because that's what that's going to equal if you're a man. You're going to be abused. Used up, spit out, and thrown away. That's exactly what's going to happen to you. Why? And these men are choosing peace. I'm with them all the way. It's much better to choose peace than it is to choose the drama, the deception, the games, the manipulation, the lies, that led to the violence, that leads to a jail sentence, that leads to all kinds of stuff you don't want. So, and it is what it is. I gotta have to say, the globalists, the people behind this, I'd shake their hand for a job well done. I mean, I'm sorry, but I recognize a good job when I see it. And I would shake their hand and tell them, job well done. Yep. And that's how I feel about it, because it is true. But with that being said, I've put this together. There's a channel on here, on YouTube. It's a simple name. Look it up. Do a YouTube search. Men only. Pay attention. There's more than one channel like this, but this is the one that I particularly watch. And this guy's really good spoken, and I like his work. But I put this together so that you can see this and pay attention close. This has always been an agenda. I'm happy to see that MGTOW is finally really happening. Men are finally going their own way. And I don't feel sorry for the women who are complaining they can't find a man. They're complaining they can't find a man because they're not finding the fantasy in the back of their head. They don't even know what they're doing. Friendship, friend zone. Friendship is a foundation. Trust is a foundation. Good communication. These are foundations. Trust, good communication, respecting each other's feelings. Yeah. Friendship between a man and a woman is a foundation. All of it's been destroyed. Now friendship is considered friend-zoned, a rejection line. Anything and everything that meant anything that led to a successful relationship between a man and a woman, that led to real love, has been completely destroyed. It's like taking a sledgehammer and smashing up the foundation, or taking the foundation out from underneath the building and watching it collapse. That's what it's like. But just the same, I got no more to say. I'm done. I'm not making no more, okay? So, watch up. Enjoy, because there won't be no more from me. And with that being said, hey, y'all have a good one.
We need to work on fixing that.
Fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the growing loneliness epidemic in modern women, because 70% of men now refuse to approach, date, or marry. The message is clear. Men are walking away, and women are starting to feel the silence. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. And that right, there is the perfect example of misplaced expectations in modern dating. She's sitting around saying you don't need a dating app. Just ask ChatGPT to find your ideal partner, as if the problem has ever been technology or lack of options. No accountability, no reflection, just another attempt to outsource responsibility for her own dating choices. Let's be honest, ChatGPT can give advice, help you clarify what you want, even help you draft a good message. But it can't do the work for you. It can't fix your standards if they're unrealistic. It can't help you recognize a good man if you're stuck chasing superficial trends. And it definitely can't stop you from rejecting the good guys over nonsense like the car they drive or the way they text. The truth is, the issue was never about finding someone. It's about choosing wisely, And too many women like her have had opportunities but passed them up because they were looking for a fantasy instead of a man. You don't need ChatGPT to find you a partner. You need to stop blaming everyone else for your dating outcomes and start asking, have I even been fair in the way I evaluate men? Because the ideal man doesn't need to be found. He probably already tried and got ignored.
I know this is gonna sound so mean, but hot women dating ugly men pisses me off so much.
The irony wrapped in delusion. She's mad because hot women are dating ugly men, not because of how those couples feel about each other or how they treat one another, but because it messes with her perception of what dating is supposed to look like. And somehow, that's misogyny? No. What's really happening is that her ego can't handle seeing other women happy with men she personally wouldn't choose. It threatens the fantasy she's built around dating being a status ladder rather than a relationship built on connection, values, or emotional safety. Here's the truth. Love doesn't follow aesthetic rules. And if a so-called hot woman finds joy, stability, and respect in a man who isn't model material, that's her win, not a problem with society. Calling that misogyny is just projection. It's not about men being out of her league. It's about her thinking she's too good for the men who would actually treat her right. If you're upset that someone found love outside your personal definition of equal attractiveness, maybe the issue isn't the relationship. Maybe it's your entitlement. Real relationships don't operate on who looks better. They're built on what works. And if that frustrates her, it says more about her priorities than it does about anyone else's.
I have to agree. I have to totally agree. As I told you, the guy here that's speaking, excellently said. Every word, excellently said, okay? That's exactly what it is. She's actually the problem. See, he gave it a great name. The loneliness epidemic of modern women. She's lonely because she does it to herself. Guys that are living TFL are TFL because of women like her. She can't find nobody because she's busy rejecting her more than 5 seconds. For every reason that this man said. It's so in your face.
Why do people get so offended when they get asked out on a coffee date? My friend just got asked out on a date. The guy was like, oh, let's get coffee together. She was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. But she said she would go if it was a drinks date, which I fully don't understand. They're literally the same thing. Like, you're going to meet up at a cute spot and get a beverage. Like, yes, obviously coffee is cheaper than a drink, but you think this guy is putting in any more effort to find a coffee shop versus a bar? Like, I seriously doubt it.
And that double standard is wild. Women are encouraged to feel the vibes, trust their energy, and read the room before giving a man a chance. But the moment a man says he's doing the same, that he wants to check the vibe before investing his time, energy, or emotions, suddenly he's labeled cold, non-committal, or even toxic. Why is it that when a woman sets boundaries or standards, it's called self-love, but when a man does it, it's selfish? Here's the truth. Men should be doing vibe checks. They should be protecting their peace, time, and emotional energy. Because too often, men have been expected to pursue blindly, invest first, and only ask questions later. And that's exactly how they end up hurt, used, or taken for granted. It's not just about vibes. It's about making sure the connection is real, that there's mutual respect, and that he's not just being picked because he's convenient or can provide something. So no, men aren't wrong for doing a vibe check. In fact, more of them need to start doing it. Because if the energy doesn't feel right early on, it's better to walk away than to stay and be drained. When did emotional intelligence become a one-way street?
Someone just asked me a really great question when I was talking about being willing to be single until you meet the right person rather than settling for any relationship, and then navigating the loneliness and discomfort that can often come with that. She was like, okay, well, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who hear that and they're like, but why would I do that? Like, why would I sit with all of that pain and get to know all of those deep, dark parts of myself and have that experience of deep loneliness if I don't have to? And my response to that was long-winded, but the short version of it is that I've experienced, as I'm sure many other people have, being lonely in the wrong relationship. Like being in a relationship with a person and still feeling not seen, not known, not loved. And for me, I got to the point where that kind of loneliness was worse, was painful, more painful and scarier than the loneliness that came from being in solitude and exploring my relationship with myself. Like, that pain outweighed this other pain. And thank God it did, because in building a relationship with myself, even the parts of me that feel like really uncomfortable, even the shame, even the fear and the sadness and the anger, in doing that, I got to a place where I was finally able to say out loud and have it be true that I would much rather be alone than be in the wrong relationship. And I love my relationship with myself, and I love the life that I've built. So why would I change that for somebody who's not the right person for me? I'm of course willing to wait for the right person because I have me. Like, the waiting isn't hard when you have a good relationship with yourself. And that doesn't mean there's not still moments of pain or longing or, you know, connecting to that desire for that thing that you really want that's not here yet and questioning when it will come. Those things still happen, but they're infinitely easier when you've built that relationship with all of those parts of yourself. I talk more about this in the conversation we had, which is a podcast episode coming out on May 6th with Sounds True, who is the publisher for my new book, Choose Yourself, which is also out May 6th, and you can order it now.
That right there is the question more women need to be asking themselves, but not in the way she thinks. She's asking why women put themselves through the pain of loneliness by choosing to be intentionally single. But the truth is, they're doing it to themselves. And it's not empowering. It's self-inflicted. Modern women were told they don't need a man, that love is optional, that independence means isolation. And now, after years of glorifying loneliness as strength, they're sitting in silence, confused as to why something feels off. The irony? These same women proudly shouted single by choice when they had options, and now that the phones are dry, the clubs are dead, and dating apps are disappointing, they want to call it pain. It wasn't strength. It was ego. It was unrealistic standards. It was the belief that you could treat men like stepping stones and somehow still land a husband at the end of it. The loneliness? That's not the world being cruel. That's the consequence of choices made in pride. Because you can't reject genuine connection for years, push away good men, and then suddenly ask, why am I alone? The answer is simple, you chose it. And now, you're realizing that independence doesn't keep you warm at night, validation from strangers online doesn't replace love, and being too good for everyone might have just priced you out of the very thing you now crave.
So I went to a singles event, and when I got there, it was literally 90% women.
Fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about how singles events are crashing and burning. It's 90% women showing up, and men just aren't attending anymore. Now, women are furious, and the silence in the room says it all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it.
If you're a single guy in New York, what would entice you to come to a singles event? My friend and I are hosting singles events now, trying to help single people in New York get off the dating apps because dating apps suck and to actually take their own dating lives into their own hands. How would you market this event to get your guy friends to want to come, to get guys in general to want to come? We do have a solid base of people, but just in terms of our growth, trying to understand what is most compelling to guys when it comes to these types of events. The way that we're structuring ours, it's very low key. There's no matchmaking, no speed dating, no pressure, no setup or anything. It's very casual and open format so that people can just come in, have conversations with people. We do have conversation starter cards to try to break the ice a little bit. But other than that, it's very free flowing so that people can just have conversations and feel confident going up to someone that they think is attractive at this event without any pressure. So if you're a guy, what would be enticing, the way that we talk about it? Do you want to hear success stories? Because we do have people, including myself, who has gone on dates from these events. Do you want more footage from the actual event? Do you want to hear from people who have gone and liked it? Do you want other perks to come with a ticket and then pay a little bit more for the ticket? Does the venue matter? We've generally been hosting them on Friday nights. Does that really make a difference if you want to come or not? Just would love some insight into how we get men in particular to come, because the girlies have no problem. All the hot successful, cool, smart girls, they're all signing up, and like we have them in droves. So if you're a single guy in New York, let us know your thoughts. And if you do want to come, we are hosting our second event on Friday, March 28th. And I have info about that in my bio.
Here's the thing. In-person dating events are no different than the apps. You'll still walk into that room and instantly lock in on your preferences. The same top 1% of men will still be the ones every woman eyes. The same invisible 80% of men will still get overlooked, just face-to-face this time instead of through a screen. And let's talk about reality. These events are rarely 50-50. It's more like 20% men and 80% women, if not worse. And of those women, the most attractive ones, they already have too many options. Their DMs are overflowing. Their calendar's booked. So what believable reason would they have to show up at some singles mixer looking for a genuine connection? Let's stop pretending these events are a magic fix. If a woman isn't serious about dating with intent, she's not going to be serious in person either. She'll show up, soak in the attention, get the free drinks, and leave with a boosted ego, nothing more. And when average guys try to approach her, it's the same rejection, just with eye rolls and fake smiles instead of swipe lefts. Because at the end of the day, options shape behavior. And when women feel like they have unlimited options, commitment becomes a joke. That's the real issue. It's not the platform, it's the mindset. And until that changes, it won't matter whether it's online or IRL. The game stays the same.
I wanted to give my take on why men aren't really showing up to the dating events and the dating scene right now. And I feel like it's really because the return on investment on dating right now is so low. Like, men just don't see the point of going to dating events or speed dating or anything like that, because it's like, okay, I go to this event, then it's like maybe this works, but at the end of the day, I lose out on most of the financials behind this experiment. Like, I'm basically funding this experiment, and it's like, maybe I get something out of it, maybe I don't, and at the end of the day, I feel like I lost the most. So the return on investment is just so low. And secondly, I feel like over the last couple of years, men have just been like really in tune and working on themselves to say. And really it's because, like, you know, you go online, you see men advancing, you see men trying different things, and I feel like being able to see that also creates a different like reality for them. Like, okay, maybe I don't have to like chase women right now, I should chase this, or I see other men doing it like this. So they kind of gives different example of like how men can occupy their time outside of women. And lastly, I feel like it's really because men kind of saw how how women were bashing men, saying, oh, a man is broke, a man is this, kind of like belittling. And that kind of like, if you really see that kind of example of men being degraded, that kind of makes you check out a little bit. Like, if you really think about it, men are like, well, if I don't have this amount of money, or if I don't have this stature, or that, if I'm not this tall, if I don't make six figures, well, I might as well just relax and enjoy my money and my height and my, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it just makes them check out. That all kind of goes back to why they're not showing up for these things. Because it's like, if I'm 5'6" and I don't make six figures, why even bother? Like, you know what I'm saying? You kind of just have to mind your business at that point.
But let's be honest, most of these events, just like dating apps, end up being a waste of time and money for the average man. He shows up, he pays for his ticket, maybe buys a drink or two. He tries to spark conversations, stay respectful, be engaging. Meanwhile, the women have already mentally sorted the room based on looks, height, income vibes, and social clout. The ROI? It's skewed, because men are investing time, money, energy, and effort, and getting nothing back. No follow-through, no reciprocation, just more polite brush-offs, fake smiles, and I'm just here with my girls excuses. And when a man finally does land a first date, it still might be a one-sided interview where she's not emotionally present, already prejudged him, or just fishing for dinner. So the return on investment? For most men, it's disappointment. Because they're not just looking to pass time, they're trying to build a life. But in a dating culture that's fueled by ego, games, and surface-level attraction, men keep showing up and walking away with less than nothing. It's no wonder so many have stopped trying. Not because they gave up on love, but because they got tired of investing in someone else's entertainment.
The money that you're spending for a dating event, you can take that money and go to a happy hour. You can take that money and go to an actual event. You can take that money and do anything else besides going to an event where 9 times out of 10 there's going to be 80 women and 2.5 men. If I was a man and I was looking to build my roster in like record time, I would buy a ticket to one of those dating events. You know why? Because the women there are giving very much, I'm gonna say it, desperate. Men are not going to dating events because it's too easy to get a girl anyway. And if they are going to dating events, trust me, it's not for the same intentions that you're going there for. And y'all are spending money for tickets for these dating events that is gonna be more women there. Like, if you're a lesbo, just say that, like, that's cool. But if you're going there really looking for a man, absolutely not. Take the money that you were going to use for that ticket, go level yourself up, buy some new makeup, buy a new dress, get a walking pad, go to happy hour, go to some other type of events that have men that are just naturally going to be there, that you can naturally just talk to, not with the intentions of dating. You have the intentions of dating and meeting someone, but he's going there just to have a good time. So that way it feels more organic, And I promise you will have a much better experience.
She said, the money you're spending on dating events, you can just take that money to happy hour or to actual events. Here's the thing. That's exactly the problem. Dating events are supposed to create a space for genuine connections, not just more crowded rooms filled with people trying to look cool for Instagram stories. So let's break this down. You're telling men to skip an event that's at least designed for intentional interaction, and instead go where? Happy hour, where no one's trying to meet anyone, just scrolling their phones, pretending to be unbothered, and giving side eyes if a man even says hello? Or maybe to actual events? You mean loud concerts, brunches, day parties, or girls' night, outings where approaching a woman gets you labeled creepy, unless you're her physical type. This advice sounds good in theory, until you're a man trying to find a woman who's actually open to more than small talk and surface-level attention. Dating events, for all their flaws, at least come with one key thing: clarity. Everyone's there for the same reason. But the second that same man steps into your happy hour, now he's doing too much. He's pressuring. He's thirsty. And let's not ignore the irony. The same women who mock dating events for being cringe or a waste of money will turn around and complain about not meeting any quality men. So here's the truth. It's not about where you meet. It's about how people act when you get there. And if modern women aren't open to connection unless it's from the 1% they fantasized about on TikTok, then no event, dating, happy hour, or otherwise, will ever fix that. It's not the venue. It's the mindset.
There's this white guy on here, and he's running like a speed dating cornhole league, and watching his journey to discovering that speed dating and dating events in general are such an unbelievable waste of time is insane. It's like the count is silly pickles, and I don't know if the events that this guy is doing was always targeted towards dating or not, but now he's doing like speed dating, and I've been seeing his journey right over the last like few months, and his absolute frustration with the fact that no matter what he does, he can't seem to get any single men. Like when the journey started, he was like, yeah, I have this like singles choral league where, I have all the women have signed up already. Can't really get enough men to sign up, so if you know any men, single men, tag them below. And there's all these women in the comments saying like, yeah, it's not gonna happen, dog. And he's just like, no. He's like, he started paying, like offering like a referral fee to like women who could get men to sign up. And when that didn't work, he like was pushing out like paid ads like crazy. Like he could not get dudes to sign up for this fucking speed. And it's crazy because now he's just like, I understand the frustration of women in like your late 20s and your 30s and why you have like such just frustration dating, because he's like, I can't even get men to sign up to this cornhole league where I can guarantee tons of single women. Like